Well, hello everyone. That was a fun and interesting moment there where we went live when we didn't mean to. My hair is doing kind of crazy stuff. If you can see in the background, the library is starting to take over my office again. You can't see the one, two, four, five stacks of books that need to go. Oh shit! There's more over there. Every time I turn around, there's more stuff. There's a stack right here, but this is a stack of stuff we're going to talk about. I've got. It's a nice rainy day, so the cats are all yawny and cuddly, and the little one wanted to be on my lap underneath the table at dinner, and well, she's not that. Yeah, there's always more. Yeah. Oh, actually, there is more to add to show what we. So, first thing I'm going to cover, I'm not going to show the books. They're books that we already have in the library, but we got stuff donated from Fer Bodun. I really hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Some of you will actually recognize his name. He discovered the library last year at Gen Con and was excited about it, and then spoke to his wife and friends about it, and then sadly he passed away in last October, so almost a year from now, or a year ago. And his wife sent us some books. There's some 5e. There's just a variety of like core rule books. Need to speak to her again, see if they're sending more stuff or not. I don't know, but he was one of the game designers for Fallout and the new Bethesda game, the Sky or Star or whatever. Shows you how on top of video games I am anymore, because I do so much with the library stuff now. My world is very analog, except for when I'm doing the digital portion of the library stuff. Um, what are you two doing? It just said you guys were chilling and being good. But Ferret was Starfield. Thank you. Ferret was very instrumental in many games that all of us have played over the last 20 years, and sadly he passed, and he had told his wife that he wanted some of his stuff to go to us, and so we have books. I mean, this is it's third ed, and people are like, oh, that's no big deal, but it's third ed from the library of someone that was very important to gaming industry in general. And it's awesome because there's like first ed stuff, or third ed stuff, Pathfinder stuff, Ars Magica. This is what third or fourth edition. This was the WotC edition. So it's very humbling when somebody like that meets the library, and it puts an impression on them, and enough that they tell their significant other, their spouse, about it, and the spouse remembers after their passing, and then reaches out to us, because he talked about us a bunch after coming to the library. And it was funny because he didn't come up. I mean, he may have talked to us, but he was there just as an attendee, as a gamer, enjoying the library. He didn't introduce himself as an important figure within within video games. And again, it's so insanely humbling to have somebody like that come through, and this project that we've started as just a silly way to start to fill some space at an event. Um, just constantly keeps making those impacts on other people and on myself. Um, kind of crazy to think that you know we're. I've joked that one of the conventions we go to, it's a very small convention. I say we keep going because we always get books donated to us, and there's a bunch of older gamers that go there that say, my kids never got into RPGs, and I put all my role playing games in my will to you guys. So we've not gotten those, thankfully, because those gamers are still alive. But the thought that we made enough impact on someone's life right before they passed. It's a strange thought. Let's look at some of the new stuff that we got. So, definitely thank you to Ferret. Look up his work, look up his life's work, and, hats off to a man that has given millions and millions of people entertainment for now and for years to come. So, this is one that I purchased because I hadn't seen it. It's been out for a few years now. So, Habitation of the Stone Giant Lord and Other Adventures from Our Shared Youth. So, he took... this module contains background information, reference notes, 3-level maps, and exploration matrix keys. It provides complete module for play of advanced, very misspelled, Dungeons and Dragons, very misspelled. And it can be played alone or part of a continuing series. 1981. So this is notes and stuff from a group of friends of an adventure they made over the years. And if you look through, it's literally just high-res copies of their notes. And I love this so much because this is exactly what I want to do. I want people to donate their stuff to us so that we can help them turn it into stuff like this and make awesome products that people can I had probably a million notebooks with stuff like this that didn't survive the many moves and the like. So if you or anyone has stuff like this, the library does want it, and we would love to work with you to either put it out into a product like this, or work with a game designer to flesh it out into something that is a little more professional. But this is I love this so much. I'm going to be talking about this a lot over the next year or two. Let's see. Game designer down in Portland brought us a couple copies of this game, Bugbears and Borderlands, and got him to sign them. So, Roderick Weibel, if you're watching and I mispronounce your name, I very much apologize. Now, on the back it says, a perfect marriage of old school simplicity and modern design. And it's actually really cool because it is very BX focused, basic D&D, but it has new modern races like Dragonborn. So dwarf, elf, gnome, halfling, tiefling, orc, human, and other races. And then it gives you a little chart of, instead of having a full background. So you can play as a bugbear, bullfrog, centaur, gnoll, goblin, hobgoblin, kobold, lizardman, minotaur. Very, very cool because going through, It is very very BX based, but does have a lot of modern gameplay style into it, which is really cool. And then Twilight Fables, also from the same company and the same game designer. And then, so, does have a content advisory. The original folklore of many creatures within this book contain dark, violent, and mature themes that may be disconcerting. Discretion advised. I do find it funny that we do kind of put we put little content advisories on what would have been just fairy tales a few hundred years ago. Most of us have never read. Well, many people have never read the translations of the original Grimm fairy tales. They're rather grim. The was it Hans Christian Andersen that wrote Little Mermaid? The original Little Mermaid is super dark, creepy. Let's see. Transport the creatures and magic from folklore into your game. 200 creatures, subclasses, lore for the Fey realm, magical artifacts, races and species options, and playable campaign. So, let's see what kind of neat. Ooh. So, Fey dragons, brownies, Fardaring, hobgoblins, jatoons, some new feats. Let's see. A whole section here on lycanthropy. As I smack myself in the face. And then a new book for 7th Sea. Really like 7th Sea. Really cool setting, really cool world, and I would like to see more people play it. Journey across the breathtaking lands of the Crescent Empire, from the courts of Iskadar to the dunes of the 8th Sea. So, you can go past the 7th Sea to the 8th Sea. The 8th Sea is a desert, if you didn't quite get that. But apparently the gentleman that donated it, he bought a copy and won a copy, and then brought us his extra copy. He's like, don't need two, and we needed one. Oh, you guys are being good now, not murdering each other. It's funny because as it gets a little cooler, they try to play nicer. So from One Link at a Time, they donated some dice, and this particular one I bought because they donated some really cool dice, and I bought this because it was hilarious. So it's a hollow metal die, and oh, I don't have autofocus turned on. Well, fine, it doesn't like me today. Well, this is a D60. It's a hollow D60, so we were joking around and trying to figure out what we're going to use it for, and Lackey keeps saying that we're going to have to figure out a time element for it. So, if you can think of cool time-based elements for a D60 to add to games, we are all ears and would love to hear some ideas. Okay, where are you? Okay. Also from same vendor, set of really cool metallic dice. Hey, there we go. It's finally trying to focus on. Now, these are really neat. They have like a wire mesh inside that looks kind of like lava flow, and then a cool like metal frame. But the really cool one, part of this set, so you had the standard size set, and then again that's One Link at a Time is the company, and this is, you're probably not going to be able to see. but there's a wire dragon inside of this. His face is on the 1. There we go. His face is in there on the 1, and then his butt's on the 20. But it is a super duper cool looking die. It's one that you'll have to see at the library when we take it places. It keeps trying to grab the poster. When I fill the screen, it's like, ooh, what's important? The poster. Okay, put these off to the side because. Hello. Can you focus on my face? Yeah. I'm gonna hold some more stuff up the screen. So this is from it was Dirt Cheap Dungeons. Yeah, Dirt Cheap Dungeons. They donated 3 of their box sets. So this is Caverns. We'll look on the back, so you get all of this in there. The nice thing is, it actually all fits into here, and it goes back well. But what's really cool is, this one I haven't torn into. I've torn into a couple of the other ones, so I'll show you a couple of pieces. So they're injection molded. So you got cavern walls that are injection molded. Yeah, the D20 is super gorgeous. You need to see it in person. They probably actually have good pictures on their website of it as well, or at least I hope they do. So this is the cavern wall set, so you can do like a dungeon delve. This is the terrain set, and it's the owlbear set. So the cavern set's their troll set. This is the owlbear set. You can see all the terrain that's in there, and their injection molded bits. So you have your mountain base, and then your hill, and then a slightly bigger hill, and then a slightly bigger hill. And then when you want to put it away, just boop. It's reverse nesting dolls and sits pretty flat. Then you got stones, and then there's logs and like shields and swords and spears and stuff. So lots of little things to throw on the ground to represent a battle. And one of the cool things about this, so they're made in Bend, Oregon. They run their own injection molding stuff, and they actually use about 30% recycled material. Can you pet the feather furry tank? No, it's just named the owlbear. And then this one is this set's called the Rogue. So this is actually more of a dungeon. Come on. You want to focus on it. And there you go. So you can see it's a nice little dungeon built. And this is the one we've played with a little bit. This one has a nice little case for all the keepers. When you first get it, you put all your doors together. They have little hinges. You can pop them off if you don't want an actual door there. So if you just want a portcullis with no door, and then it's really nice because I actually super dig it. So say you take your wall, and then here's a little T-piece, and then bam. And there you go. Your little T-wall section is ready to sit up on the table and go. Yeah, Ben does. My mother-in-law used to live in Bend, and she worked for a variety of small companies out of Bend. Cost of living over in Bend and everything is fairly cheap compared to like living in and around Portland or Seattle. So sometimes you go into those little areas that are just a little out of the way, and you get some awesome stuff. You can get awesome product. With sitting boxes on the keyboard. Then let's see, I got one of these opened. So this next one, these are smaller packs, and this is the Lava Flow. So as you're building stuff out, you pop this open. There you go. You got little flat injection molded lava that you can put down. You can shape it out a variety of ways. It's got straights and curves and angles, pools, so you can have like burbling hot spots. I was going to open this back up and put the paper in so we know what it is. Not like I can't tell looking at it, right? Lava, lava everywhere. The floor is lava. Oh God, the floor is lava. I'm glad I'm sitting in a chair where my feet don't necessarily touch the ground. There. So, this is the Rock Bridges kit. I haven't popped this one open yet. Oh, this is a more expensive kit. So, they've got the acrylic. So you can set the acrylic in and snap in really quickly a rock bridge. Ta-da! And it's got a little grid on there for your minis, and they can get around. Manufactured by Dirt Cheap Dungeons. Guys, looking, and I like 1985 put out some awesome stuff. 1985 games put out some awesome stuff over the years that are, they were flat terrain that you could cut out, and I really like that. But these are a great way to do 3D terrain that doesn't take up a lot of space and actually be really easy for the library and people to use to go places. So this set is the jail cells kit, and all fits in the same little case, and it's jail walls, and with little keepers so you can put it together just like all the rest of their sets. And of course you got doors and stuff. Let's see, we got two more kits from them. Here's the Palisades kit. I'm gonna reach out to see if we can do some cool stuff with them, because once we can get a location where we can film, insert jailhouse rock here. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock rock. Oh, that's a different song. So this is a Palisades fence, and you got little rounds, so you can actually bend it like a fence would bend. Not like Beckham would bend it, though. Did you know Keira Knightley was in Bend It Like Beckham? I actually just discovered that because I didn't watch that movie when it was out. I was not the target audience for it. I was in my 20s when that came out, I believe. And here is Rivers. So a lot like lava, but blue. So got river bits and little pool bits. Ooh, I might go swimming. Actually, I do want to go swimming. Need to renew my gym membership so I can start swimming again. Maybe get smaller. And then in here, so they show off their water flow. the jail kits. They got a summoner's kit, so that's a bunch of cool stuff for summoning stones and the like. Let's see. And they, talk about how you can combine them. They got a castle kit that I would like to get. That's actually super cool. That one's a little expensive, but I mean it's a pretty huge kit. Of course, we can't see anything. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is their castle kit, and you can see how big that is compared to everything else that I was just showing you. So this is the dungeon kit. That's on the other side, on this side of the page. The castle kit is like, the box is like 3 times that size. And I think that's it for new stuff. If you're looking for some cool terrain, look up Dirt Cheap Dungeons. I think it's a really nice, like, it's a decently inexpensive way to jump into using terrain without going all the way down to. I love what 1985 games did, and they admit, hey, that is a cheap entry point because you can get a bunch of terrain. You've just got to cut it out. It's all flat. But if you want to get into using 3D terrain, this is a pretty cool way to go. I'm really excited to see people use it. You can build a 16-room dungeon. A couple of these, you could build even more. Okay, let us go to what's going on in news and stuff. I got the hiccups. A little water with lemon in it. Okay, so Pathfinder's working on the World of Immortals. They're doing their playtest for the classes, and some people know about it, but some people don't. And if you don't know and you want to get in on it, you can download the playtest information and actually do surveys and provide information. So if you're playing Pathfinder and you would like to, help shape the future of the game, here's a way to do it. Ghost in the Shell tabletop game is arriving next year. I love Ghost in the Shell. It's one of my favorite movies, not just anime movies. Not the live action one. Live action was not so good. It was pretty, but it was pretty bad as well. It's one of those movies where you just turn off the sound and watch. You're like, oh man, he shot some gorgeous sequences, but most of those were laid out in the anime. But we are going to be getting a Ghost in the Shell game, and it's by River Horse, which River Horse did the new Labyrinth game that came out last year. They did a Labyrinth board game. They did the previous edition of My Little Ponies that now... So they lost the rights to My Little Ponies. They went over to Renegade, and then Renegade just put out... they're not putting out the same game that River Horse did. They're putting out one that's based on their 2D20... or not 2D20, Essence 20, which is the same system as Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, and Transformer. So technically, you'd be able to play them all together. But anyways, we're going to get a Ghost in the Shell game, and I'm super duper excited because this should... I mean, it's such a great world. I mean, we've been able to play it. I ran a Ghost in the Shell based game using Cyberpunk back in the mid-90s. you too could do the same thing. Monster of the Week takes the hunt to other times and places. So they're putting out this Codex of Worlds book. So, which is pretty cool because it's basically opening up Monster Hunter to go more places. So you're not. It is staying the Monster of the Week, which is cool, but you're able to expand what you do with it, which is really cool. And this one, oh my god, this one. So Square Enix has put out a pre-order for the Final Fantasy 14 tabletop RPG starter set. Now, I'm excited that we're getting a Final Fantasy tabletop RPG, but why did it have to be 14? It was their MMORPG. So I guess that it's the easiest to convert over because everything was already done into an RPG similar format. There's a lot of things that are done on the back end of an MMORPG are very similar things that you need to do in a. It's wildly popular. It's popular, but I think everybody wanted 7, 8, 9, and 10 before these. Because I'll be honest, I personally wanted any of those, and most of the comments I've seen about this, they're excited, but they were like, "Man, I really wanted." What is going on? Hello? Can you guys hear me? What is going? This is. This is all on Twitch. So if you're watching on Twitch and you're having issues, I'm not having issues on Rumble um, or YouTube. All the issues are on Twitch only. Interesting. Well, I love it when that stuff happens. And it's funny because everything else is telling me that we're good to go, but Twitch is like freaking out. So I don't know what's going down. Well, anyways, we've got the Final Fantasy tabletop RPG. My biggest hope is that this does well, and they say, "Oh, hey, let's do the other games," because especially 7, 8, 9, and 10 were super cool stories, really neat worlds, and get the Buster Swords. And in 10 it was Blitzball. Well, in 7 and 9 you had the card game. I have not played the new Marvel RPG using the 616 system, but I want to. And this is a free multiverse intro setting. So if you've picked up the game and haven't played yet, this is I think this could be a lot of fun to go with. Everybody's raving about multiverse things. So this one is the Inter Hydra Adventure. Dark fantasy board game Tainted Grail is being made into a tabletop RPG, and I'm actually excited about this because there's some really cool board games that have really amazing worlds, and why have not more of them just been made into an RPG? You you have all the really hard work done. Most of these games could be ported into an open system, or made 5e, or made for D6 or OSR. Hey, welcome, Deuterino. Thank you for coming out to Rose City and running games with us. So, Deuterino, that just started following us, showed up to Rose City Comic Con and ran Neon Lords. So he's been running Neon Lords for a little while with friends, and Rose City Comic Con was his first convention ever. So not only did he, hey, goes to a first convention with the library, but he jumped in both feet helping out, running games, and people looked like they had a blast. Hats off to the people from Oregon that actually came out and gave us a hand. It was awesome. Board games with RPGs. Root, Twilight Imperium. I forgot Twilight Imperium has one. Gloomhaven and Zombicide. So those are the ones off the top of our heads. And all of those have great fluff and lore, but there's a ton of other awesome board games out there that are like crazy in depth that could be made into tabletop RPGs. So I don't know much about Tainted Grail. It's only been out for a little while, and it's a co-op board game, so it makes it even easier. So we will keep an eye out for that, see what it's up to. This, I'm probably gonna throw a couple bucks personally at this one. So this is Grimm. Grimm is a tabletop role-playing game, not a video game. Though, if you're into video game, if you are a video game designer and want to collaborate, let me know. I love that. So this is a first-person shooter video game concept put into a Dungeon Degenerates RPGs in the work. I don't know. I'll have to look at it. Okay, and Pulsar says BattleTech kind of counts. BattleTech was a miniatures game, the way how role-playing games started. So D&D came out of tabletop minigames. So BattleTech to MechWarrior was an easy transition, the same way that D&D was transitioned out of Chainmail. And the way that Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k have RPGs. Much easier, and, well, geez, what's the one? Almost all of them. So, what is it? Iron Kingdoms is an RPG based on tabletop minigame. Then there's one that starts with I. It's a squad-based minigame, and it has a RPG as well. I'd say probably 80% of the tabletop miniature games have RPGs along with, just because it's a way for them to sell more minis. Doom RPG tabletop form. I don't know if Doom had one, but Diablo and StarCraft both had RPGs. StarCraft was made on the Alternity at the end of TSR, and Diablo was a stripped down second edition D&D just before 5th ed. Iron Kingdoms came out prior to War Machine and Hordes. Did it come out before War Machine and Hordes? I thought Iron Kingdom came after War Machine and Hordes. Because I'd never seen Iron Kingdoms until long after I'd seen War Machine and Hordes. And that's where they've made their money. So, well, I'm going to check out Grimm. I'm going to download their rules later. And I love it. Where'd it go? You can buy now. It has a 1% off sale. So regularly $9.99. Right now, it's $9.89. Uh, I love it. I want to know what. Um, I love it. You play with a watcher, your GM, and 1 to 6 other players. Okay, for those of you that don't want to get into crowdfunding stuff, or your pocketbook is afraid of it, we're going to get into that stuff now. Go. I know some people fear this section. So, Society of Rafa, a heartfelt tabletop RPG of healing and spirits. Delve into a close-knit village of Kafal filled with eccentric scholars, nosy neighbors, and rambunctious spirits. From Boston, Massachusetts. They were looking for 3,000. They got 22 days ago. They're over their goal. First created, they've backed 7 others. You are a Rafa, a healer, charged with caring for the health of your community and keeping peace with local spirits. It's a vibrant role-playing game, solve complex moral dilemmas bound only by your chosen healing skills and creativity. Sounds like it would give me a run for my money, because it's not what I would normally play, which is not a bad thing, because I love seeing more RPGs out there so that we can, get the right game into people's hands. And I'm willing to try most any RPG. See, key features: 50 healing skills and herbal remedies, 6 Rafa healers, specialties, unique spirits based on Jewish folklore. Oh, that's super cool. And cozy setting with village landmarks and key community organizations and leaders. So, going back to, I talked to a lot of people about using history and culture in RPGs as a way to get people interested to learn more about other cultures. I'm a big history anthropology nerd, so something like this is always in my wheelhouse of a way to get somebody interested in things. Because we could all learn a lot from other just being a little nosy about other cool cultures. 'Cause there's a lot of cool stuff that's what makes this country so cool. Is you look at all the different cultures that have come in. It also makes for headaches sometimes, because it's hard for cultures to blend. But it's great to reach out and learn about all the different cultures that have shaped and grown over the centuries. So I'm definitely going to look at this one. I think the play style is going to challenge me as a player and a GM, and I think the little history and anthropology bit in there is really going to get my history and anthropology nerd mojo going. Okay, this one has, I'm going to refresh this just to double check. 11 hours to go. They're at 18,000, which is better than they were yesterday, but man, would I like to see this much higher. I'll be honest, I think this should have hit 100,000 easy. Morkborg is a huge pull right now. DuckTales is ginormous, and I just think they're nailing all the little aspects of it. From the little that I've seen, it looks Morkborgy, it looks DuckTalian. I wish this was over 100,000. But they got a $10, $15, and a $25 tier that everybody's going at. The $100 tier, we can see how many people have done that. 38. Whereas bulk of everybody's in that $25 tier. So I don't think they made their $100 tier appetizing enough. You get a little coin, which is cute, and you get specialty rules that only come with that, which is cute. But that's a big jump from $25. Like, okay, $25, I get the book. $100, I get the book and a little Smash coin and some specialty rules. I'm happy that it is it's funding, but man, I'm a little gutted that it didn't get bigger. This should have been at least 100,000. See. I did not read this one. I clicked on it just because I was intrigued by the name. Terra Mentia role-playing game is lore-driven world with 18 playable classes and inspirations for game masters. 18 days to go. Long way off from their $10,000 goal. It looks like a giant book. First created, zero backed, and I say this every time we run into this. This is a red flag for a lot of people. So especially if you're looking to get to that $10,000 mark, that's a pretty sizable mark for a lot of RPGs. You're rarely going to hit it with zero backed. And some people are like, oh, what's that matter? It matters a lot to a lot of people. If you've not put time and effort into building your account up and you just throw something together, people are like, oh, don't know. And the funny thing is, you backing other projects shouldn't matter to you putting out a good product. And I'm going to turn my autofocus off because it just does not want to play nice. That's weird. My software is telling me offline, but everything is telling me I'm online. And then Twitch is like, oh, we're unstable. Oh, I'm loving this. It's one of those days. Let's see. What do they have here? Oh, they were at Fan Expo Salt Lake. That was this weekend, I believe. I wish them well. Love to reach out to them and say, hey, what can we do to help you? Because there's so many just little things that people stumble with on their RPGs starting out. Let's look at their, see. Oh, $50 is the PDF. Well, that's a big jump. They've got zero at that. $60 is the book. So I like that. I like that they did the book and PDF are one thing. I love that. iPad not included. 75 is hardcover, free shipping. Ooh, okay. Purchasers of games out there are never going to like to hear this, but this needs to be said. Never ever offer free shipping in your Kickstarters. You will never be able to gauge the costs of shipping until it's too late. So I'll use Brian from Neon Lords. His first run on Neon Lords, everything was covered by the Kickstarter. And if he would have been able to ship as soon as he collected the money and he charged the shipping. So, and that was kind of a problem he had. He charged shipping when he really early. And then when he went to ship, the prices were so dramatically different. He actually sold a bunch of Magic cards to cover the cost. I don't know if he shared that with other people. He shared that with me. But he was dedicated to get that product out. He's been much smarter about his subsequent Kickstarters, and understands things. He still is handwriting all the addresses and everything on the boxes, which is awesome because they're just written in this awesome, crazy, handwritten, bonkers font. But don't do free shipping in a Kickstarter. You will bankrupt yourself. You're going to collect all the funds. You're going to be like, oh, hey, it's $75. That covers the book and shipping. We're going to be good. And then he comes in and you're like, oh, shipping isn't $5 through Media Mail. It's now $8. And you're like, well, $3 a book. That's not a big difference. Well, you sold 400 books, and that's now $1,200 versus it's, ooh, yeah. Shipping, as the chat says, shipping is always more expensive at the time of escape. And so never, ever, ever, ever offer free shipping in your Kickstarters. You will, it's not a good idea. So they have a decent amount of Kickstarters with little add-ons and stuff. I think maybe the art style is the art style is kind of high schoolish, better than junior high. And what sucks is, from the little that I've read, it looks like they have a pretty solid game. Yeah, don't do free shipping. Put more money into your art. You may be a good designer, but pay for quality art. I have seen so many games with great art and bad mechanics sell over the years because we absolutely judge books by their cover. And I've seen great games with horrible covers sit and collect dust. That's why I talk about Free League so much. Free League is really getting quality of books, good games, and beautiful layout and art. They're just nailing it every time. Also, the use of Papyrus font. The font is rough, but at least it's not Comic Sans. Thank you, DC, for that one. Yeah, Comic Sans serif was developed based on DC inking, lettering. See, Puzzles and Perils. So the Canadian putting together a book of riddles for fantasy role-playing games. So I think this is really cool, but you're always going to struggle with this. You can't, if you're doing just a book of puzzles and riddles, everybody can just go search the internet for that. And we're out of sync a bit now. Yay! Love Twitch. Ad break in 18 seconds. So, you're rarely ever going to be successful trying to get a book of puzzles and riddles successful on Kickstarter, especially targeting RPG people. They're going to go look them up. Why does that face look familiar? He's got a fairly common gamer face. I think I saw 11 or 12 people that looked like him this weekend. But a better way to do this is intersperse these riddles into a larger GM book, and then not only are people more likely to buy it because you're putting out a book of GM advice, tips and tricks, or more than just puzzles and riddles. If a GM is looking for a puzzle or a riddle, they're going to pull out some obscure weird book, or they're going to look them up on the internet. And I wish him well, but I do want to reach out and say, hey, a better way to do this is... I do find it funny that somebody from Misagawa, Japan, or Canada. A guy from Canada. His picture has a Captain America shield on it. I guess he just looks at him as Captain North America. Oh. The Minotaur Labyrinth. Funded with Kickstarter in an hour. It's out to the UK. They were looking for £1,000. They're at almost £6,000. So it is. I was looking through this. It is just a big labyrinth, and all the rules for going through it and getting hit by a minotaur. So falling through the old minotaur, and this is year or so. Spider Place was not that long ago, probably about 6 months ago. There's two people streaming from that city now. The city that I Mississauga. I have never been. So, this one, the whole the freeze frame of the video looked very cool.
Soldiers and the picky vigilantes who fight against it. Or how about a story about an airship pilot who crashes in the jungle and must fight sinister creatures of the night? Whatever story I unravel, I can't tell it alone. So join me, and we'll tell it together, in steel and scale.
So, high fantasy and age of industry, a comprehensive RPG system in a world of magic and machinery. First created back to 6 archetypes, 50 weapons, 50 plus weapons, racial abilities and customization, 22 backgrounds, 28 talents, 12 disciplines of magic with over 150 magic abilities between them. We've got 225, page number may go up as we add more content and illustration, of tried and tested rules and mechanics, including a wide array of options for players to build their ideal character. So it sounds like they're well along in the process. They've got some really unique art. It has the 1920s feel. Looks like, yes, Captain North America, Captain Mexico, and Captain Pseudo America walk into a bar. Actually kind of dig their character sheet. Laid out a little different than, most sheets, but really easy to find stuff. £18 gets you digital only, £30 gets you the book. The rule book and a sticker sheet. $45 gets you a book bundle, the rule book, art prints, and character sheets. $75 gets the exclusive book bundle. High quality Golden Balls Kickstarter exclusive version of the rulebook plus the bundle. £100 is the team player, the rulebook plus access to exclusive production Discord server and early access to the Steel and Scale rules system. £120 super team player, exclusive book bundle plus team player Discord server. And Game Master, £150. 5 copies of the rulebook, exclusive Discord, blah, 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 blah. So, stretch goals, boss monsters, magical and unique items, pre-made adventures, spells and ability cards, question mark, something extra special. Well, it really does sound and look like most games that I see pop up don't have character sheets, and they are at $6,000. They want to get to 18. So they're at £5,000. They're looking to get to £15,000. They got 36 days to go. We're going to keep an eye on this one. I dig this one. It looks pretty cool. This one I talked about last week, just bringing it up again because I being the history anthropology nerd, so this is a this isn't even a BX. This is a zero edition version of like D&D rules, but it is using ancient Aztec as its base, which man, I've seen that little bit of art so many times. I went to a summer school. I was telling everybody about this last week. I don't need to talk about it again. Went to a summer school about Mexico and the cultures and stuff. And still find this super fascinating. You definitely want to keep an eye on this game. And they got 13 days ago. They've made it past their goal. So we're going to keep an eye on them as a team. Monsters and Lairs. They're at 1766. Almost 1776. New monsters, maps, and lore to add to your fantasy or horror campaign for Dungeons, Dragons, or any tabletop role-playing game. So this has got some bitchin' art. Yes, bitchin'. I want to bring this up again just because the art in this looks great. And it is... they've done a bunch of stuff over the years. So they make great tokens. They make pretty good maps. They have great artists. They have some wonderful ideas. And, I mean, some of these just look super cool. I mean, angry spirits. Those look angry. That, yeah. Saltwater Naga. And their projects are worth it just to get access to their art. Kind of wish these guys were a little bigger because they've done a bunch of stuff, but their art and stuff has not gotten out far enough. Let's see. Barcelona, Spaghetti Fantasy, Bestiary, and Gazetteer for 5e. Coming out of Italy. Italy's been killing it with RPGs last few years. Discover the new handbooks for the world's funniest and craziest spaghetti fantasy RPG setting. Winner of 4 Annie Awards. Oh, is this a reprint? Because I remember this cover somewhere. Let's see. So it's back. Okay, so for the 5th edition, the most famous role-playing game of all time is back with Spaghetti Fantasy Bestiary, a monster manual and cookbook compatible with every 5e setting. Bounty Kingdom Gazetteer and Furious Lands and Other Dirty Jobs, a brand new campaign adventure for your scoundrel parties. And then it's all in Italian. Negative. Quick. Is that a queso monster? So 39 euros gets you all 3 in PDFs. 78 euros gets you the Bestiary and the Gazetteer in hardback plus PDF. 78 euros gets you the Bestiary and the setting book in physical. 99 euro gets you the Bestiary, the Gazetteer, the Dirty Jobs, and the Barcelona setting book, and the Maraconicon in PDF. This is $99. This is all in PDF. 149 euros. You get all 3 books in physical copy. Plus, you get a dice set and an apron with your queso monster. 299 euros gets you a whole lot of stuff. The Barcelona setting book, the Maracona hardback, Empire waxback, the Jinx's Almanac, Spaghetti's Fantasy Bestiary, Bounty Kingdom Gazetteer, Furious Lands and Other Dirty Jobs, the dice set, the apron, and the Cantandero's screen. First, second, and third map pack. Whew. Yeah, I do remember looking at something for this a while back. There's the Bestiary cover. There's the Bounty Kingdom Gazetteer. Furious Land and Other Dirty Jobs. What do they do? Let's go back to the top. Oh wow, they're doing well. So they're almost $200,000. I find the title they give Spaghetti Fantasy perplexing. Spaghetti Western was made in Italy to resemble someplace in the Americas. In Spaghetti Fantasy, they then made in Italy to resemble Middle Earth. Lol. Yes, it's it is a zany. It's less spaghetti western, more a zany take on fantasy stuff. Let's see. D&D Shorts, if you've seen that YouTube page, is... What happened? Oh, great. Other stuff is frozen. Yay. What is going on? Oh, Rumble went offline. Did it? No, it's back. Oy vey. We're having some very weird connectivity issues today. I've got to get a hold of my carrier and be like, hey, WTF, what's going on? How can I not get a solid freaking stream for... Well, this says 35 minutes. I've been going for more than 35 minutes. Let's see. Now we're in 13 minutes. Okay, so Rikyo's Guide to Yokai Realms, 5e tome, D&D Enhanced, a 350-page tome of kaiju battles, crafting mechanics, and other options inspired by ancient folklore and yokai legend. So, it's D&D Shorts is heading this up, and it's something that he's been wanting to do for quite some time. I'm trying to see if I can chat with him about this, but they're doing really well. They got a little over 2 weeks left to go. Almost 14,000 backers at $1.7 million. So there is definitely a lot of people that want Japanese games. Because, I mean, the 1985 games did 2.6 million on their anime-inspired RPG, and this is 1.7. Avatar: The Last Airbender was the largest ever. So, and the art on this is gorgeous. So, when I talked to him at Gen Con, he was like, got a big project coming up. And I think this is what he was talking about. So he has been working on this for a little while. And if this is up your alley, you're probably already backing it. This, I clicked on it just because the whole little premise cracked me up. Tabletop RPG downtime activities, keeping your players engaged between sessions. I think we're engaged between sessions with life. Only $1. Take your game to the next level. Search for hidden areas. Research and buy magic items. Explore and develop your characters. As a DM, I've always liked the idea of downtime activities, one-on-one sessions, and other ways to engage my players outside of our typical game session. Okay, this is a different way to go. So this is actually sitting down and playing with individuals to fill that time between game sessions. Okay. So, gladiator fights, searching for hidden areas, buying and selling magic items, different types of research. Okay, this is stuff that I've done off and on for years with different games, but kind of a cool idea that, um, you know, a lot of people don't. I also created a free mobile app called the Game Master's Toolkit 5e, which has random generators, mini games, puzzles, music, and more. Well, that's cool. So, $1 to get the digital tool set. They were looking for $50. They've got 77 backers at $198. So, 75 have backed at $1, and 2 backed at some other price. Yes, this is definitely more orientated to like long-term campaigns. This isn't something that you're doing, between one shots. This isn't for keeping your players active. This is keeping doing activity with your player characters between events, which is really cool because, like, hey, how did you learn that new spell? So this is ways to fill those in. Like I said, I have done stuff like this off and on, but it's really cool to have a little tool that you can use, especially if you've not done it before. For $1, whatever, that's not that bad. RPG Storymaker. So there are a bunch of these that we've seen over the years, and I still really do like seeing new ones come out. So this is from Montpellier, France. That's French. We're done. Yep, next. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the streams are all going wonky. I don't know what's happening. My network is up and running well, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's going on. I've got to definitely get a hold of my network provider and be like, hey, WTF. So, I like seeing stuff like this because GMs, especially newer GMs, need assistance to do cool stuff, to get their juices flowing, to get their confidence up. If you've not been GMing for 30 years, the majority of your life, you're going to be very leery. Like, oh, hey, what do I do? I haven't thought of that. What happens when my players throw me through a loop? Well, you have these little tools to give you hooks and stuff to, kind of keep up with them. Or you're like, oh man, we've pretty much gone through everything that I wanted us to do, and you can sit down and use cards like this to move your story forward. This one has 9 days to go. This one actually looks really cool. It is a card-based RPG, which I love when people do cool and fun stuff. So they've got the book, they've got it PDF, and then you can also get it in a version where you get a deck of cards as well. I think it's a really neat idea to use cards. One, they're easy to access. Two, they're just a different a way. It moves you away from just chucking dice at things. So they're close to their goal. They need about $800 more, so just a few more backers, and they'll be funded. And they've got 9 days to go. And we all know that's all going to happen in last 36 hours. This is got 69 hours left. This is a GM-less RPG. I've talked about it a couple times. I just wanted to bring it up again because it's cute. But you can play it as a solo, or you can play it as a group without a GM. So I love the idea behind this, and also uses cards, which I think is super duper cool. So I'm going to reach out to these folks, see if we can chat and do some cool stuff, because it looks adorable, and I love the idea of game systems. It's GM-less. And Badger and Coyote, 17 days left. I'll cover this one again right before it's done. I just think this one's adorable. You play as a Badger and Coyote. I want more of the 2-player games, mostly because there hasn't been a huge call for them over the years, but there definitely is since COVID happened. When people were doing lockdowns and stuff. Since then, I've talked to a ton of people. They're like, "Hey, are there 2-player games out there?" I'm like, "There are, but there's so few." And some of the ones that were made before COVID were clunky. So I think this one looks adorable. It's based upon this camera series. These cameras. I forget where this is at, but this coyote and this badger have been on a ton of cameras in this area, just hanging out, and it's just an odd thing because they're not 2 critters that typically ever hang out. So you can just go around on the adventures of Badger and Coyote and Badger, or Badger and Coyote. I definitely want this to do well. Okay, going into Humble Bundle. This is the only RPG. It's still up. It has 2 days left, so if you want to get into some cool stuff from Peregrine Press, the Trail of Cthulhu, this is their Call of Cthulhu rule set, and it's pretty broad and really cool because for $18 you get 22 books, and you get a coupon to get 20% off of a purchase at Peregrine Press, which is not a bad idea. So Shadowrun, if you like Shadowrun and you want to kind of get deeper into the world, these are all Shadowrun stories. Lots and lots of them. It's one of the cool things with Shadowrun. Like, I joke that Shadowrun's a cool world that happened to have kind of a rule set. The world is awesome. The rules are always been frustrating, and all of us have been playing the best we can with the rules. They're frustrating, to say the least, at times. But the world is so amazing, and it's worth it to pick up 42 books for $18. Iconic sci-fi audiobooks. So this is $18 for 20 audiobooks. So you can get the Ringworld Throne, Darkness of the Ice, The Flame Upon the Ice, Helldivers 3, Helldivers 4, Helldivers 5, Brotherhood of the Wolf, a bunch of Larry Nevin stuff. Initially, I thought this was all going to be like old books, but it's not. More Helldivers. So, Rune Lords, Book 1, The Sum of All Men, Ringworld. Ringworld is actually a great book. I'd like to listen to this one. So these are all audiobooks, so you can throw these on and, drive to work and listen to a chapter, or, while you're working, just throw them on and listen away. And then this is Eerie Comics. So I loved Eerie Comics as a kid. This is $18 for 30. These are great stories to really build off of for the games you want to play, because I guarantee you're going to find a ton of amazing stories to leapfrog off of from these, because there's so many great stories in here that you can go further with the worlds that have been created, and there's so much. Oh God, Eerie Comics was so good. I have probably read most of these stories at one time or another in my childhood. And let's get to our last page, Bundle of Holding. So we got 9 days left on the Delta Green Mega Bundle. So $9 gets you the Agent's Handbook, the Complex, the big from Big Data to Beltway Bandits, and the Agent Dossiers. 41 pre-generated agents' professions. Then if you go up to $40, you get the handler's screen, Arc Hint, Impossible Landscapes, Iconoclast, The Labyrinth, The Conspiracy, and The Handler's Guide. So $40 gets you a boatload of material content. Then you can do for $18, you get the bunch of asset packs. So that if you want to play online or use a virtual tabletop, or print things out and hand them out. So asset packs, classified 1, vectors pack 1, or known vectors asset pack 1, law enforcement pack, public interest, private sector. So these are all things that will be cool for printing out as handouts or use at virtual tabletops. So, Flying Circus. Aviation. Oh, I have not seen this in so long. Oh, this is super cool. I don't remember when this game first came out. So, for $13, you can get the Flying Circus, aviation fantasy about mercenary fighter pilots surviving high-stress careers. Super, super cool. Freaking, yeah, this is neat. Horror of the Heights, high-altitude gameplay, and things that dwell above the clouds. And Flying Circus plane packs. So for playing on a virtual tabletop. That's super cool. And that's only freaking $12. $13. So, Yellow King. This has 16 days left. $18 gets you the Yellow King RPG and the Yellow King Suite. 6 music soundtracks. Music tracks of sinister use and purpose. Then if we go up to $29, you get New Tales of the Yellow Sign, The Missing and the Lost, The Anointed King in Yellow, and Absinthe of Carcassonne. I don't know the Yellow King RPG. It's a Gumshoe. It's based on the Gumshoe system, so really, really easy to pick up. I don't know anything about this game though. Let's see, Mistborn Adventures game. So we've got some of the Mistborn books in the library. They've been donated by the one of the distributors. So $18 gets you the Mistborn book adventure game. We've got this. Alloy of Law. Secure your virals and strap on the 6 guns. Alloy of Law, Mass of the Past. Rod of Copper. And Ska, Tin and Ash. So, yeah, it's actually a pretty cool game. I like that the physical books are the size of a novel. Makes it a pain in the butt to pack away, but it's really cool because it looks like the Mistborn books. And lastly, Hostile. Deep Space Cephas Engine tabletop horror role-playing game. So I don't know much about this one either. $10 gets you Hostile rules and setting, the gun locker, the handouts, and the reference screen. Then if we go up to a little over $22, Explorers Dirtside Colony Builder, Alien Breed Synthetics, Gunboats and Shuttles, Marine Corps Handbook 2215, and Crew Expendable. Must be all red shirts. Well, that's all we have. We got some really cool stuff in, some awesome dice. Got a D60 to play with. And some really cool stuff. I'm excited about the terrain. So look up Dirt Cheap Dungeons. They were awesome. Donated some stuff. The dice came from one link at a time. And, well, tomorrow we're going to continue our adventures of Pirate Borg. So tune in tomorrow, and I'm going to close the library while I try not to hiccup myself to death. I've been fighting the hiccups the last few minutes. So until tomorrow, the library is now closed. Thank you all for tuning in, and go out and game with some people. It's great for you and them.